this is kind of a cool thing because we've got people from all over the, well, looks like here, just all over the, well, Kamari's back east. And we've had people, last time we had a gentleman on from Australia.
I was hoping he'd be back. He's not here. I'm here.
What, Rob? Yeah.
Yo.
Hey, buddy.
How's it going?
Okay. Good. So, yeah, we've just, this is your first time to the boardroom. I think, Donna, I think this is your first time too, right? And the boardroom started back in August of 2010. What are you doing?
I just like seeing myself.
I'm shy. The boardroom started. This boardroom started back in 2010, August 2010, and with 4 people. And it's at that point we were just watching some videos of some seminars, and it was just, you know, and stopping it and saying, what does this mean to you, and all this kind of stuff.
Howdy.
Welcome. And have a seat right there. You grab that. And we just started talking about, you know, what does this mean, and talk about people's business, how do they apply it, you know, their perspectives. And then somebody came in probably a year into it, says, hey, this is a mastermind. And I'm like, oh, cool. So I started studying a mastermind, what it was, and everything like that. And it kept getting bigger, and we had, you know, like 40 people in it. And then last summer I was on, I was interviewed on I Love Marketing podcast with Joe Polish and Dean Jackson, but Joe interviewed me, and the thing went from 40 members here to 200 members. You know, and there's a thing on Facebook, as I think you've seen and you're on, and it's not an open group. So people request entry. I deny entry to probably 2/3 of the people that come in. If they haven't come in through the regular ThursdayNightBoardroom.com, or they haven't, or I look at their stuff and it just doesn't seem like there's anything there. Or if there's no friends, you know, like how do they even find this, you know? So why are you asking to come in if I don't even know you, you know, that type of thing. And so, so we, you know, it grew to about 200 people, and, you know, there's some pretty, you know, cool people in the group, and good interaction especially on Facebook. I think the interaction is fantastic. And so then it just kept getting bigger, and I was on Entrepreneur on Fire, which is one of the most listened to podcasts on iTunes. 450,000 downloads a month. And how you doing?
Good. How are you?
And grab some chairs over here.
Look at this, Esther. We couldn't buy a person last time to come in here.
We tried.
And so it's just grown. It's continued to grow. Now we have 371 members in 23 countries. And it's a great, you know, cool place to be. So we're gonna walk around. We're gonna introduce each other, introduce ourselves, you know, we're gonna have the guys on the hangout. This is the second time we've ever done this where it was a live session and a hangout. And so, you know, it looks a little messy around here. But I kind of like the fact that someone like, you know, my friend Kamari could be on here, you know, from the Midwest, and you know, just people can be wherever they are and join. The guy in the blue suit in the middle there, he was one of the original members. The actual guy, the ugly guy next to Rob, this is Rob, and this is Tony right here. And Tony was actually, when we started doing a mastermind before this in my office at home, and it was 2 guys and me, and we sat there and just did some perspectives and watched stuff and shared, and, you know, and kind of challenged each other and talked through it. And that was the very beginning of this whole thing. So it was cool. But let's start with the people in the room. I don't think anybody can see you, so you're going to have to say hi. You don't have to worry about positioning or anything like that.
we're going to get a wide angle, whatever. I mean, with my body, I probably should always have a wide angle. But so I just want to introduce you. I want you to introduce yourself, and then we're going to go back through, and we're going to talk about to the new people that are on here, the questions that we put people through, because that's really what the boardroom's about, is asking more and more questions and creating a real nice Socratic process here. Some of the most exciting times in the boardroom is when people are on the hot seat. And it's not just the person on the hot seat that's learning, it's every single person in the room, because they're able to have that perspective. So what I'd like you to do is introduce yourself now, and just how did you hear about the boardroom? Like, why are you here? And then we'll work, what's your business? And we'll come back to some other questions later. But why don't we start with this nice young lady over here?
I am Romina. I'm with Method Simple, and I'm here with Ed, and we found out about this place through Brian.
Okay, what's Method Simple?
Go ahead. We develop and manufacture products. We're industrial design is what it was.
Okay.
And
Right.
this is our first actual product of our own. I've been developing products for about 20 years.
Oh, cool.
For other people. Different industries. Architectural was a big one. Transportation was another. So we did cars and motorcycle conversions and stuff like that. And also did a lot of interior architectural work.
Okay.
Different places.
Super. Well, welcome, Ed.
Thank you.
Who are you?
I've been trying to figure that one out for a long
Try
time.
not to sleep tonight, okay?
Yeah. I'm Brian Prieto, chiropractor in Yorba Linda, and also consulting with the Cerebropedic Relief and Neck Relief Field here. And that's how Ed and Romina decided to invite them. And put them.
I'm glad you did that.
I'm Thomas Kim Martin of TEI, stands for That's Entertainment International. We produce celebrity entertainment for private and corporate events around the world. So.
Glenn Green, White Rhino Promotional Solutions, promotional products company that helps you find the right tools to stay in front of your clients.
I am James Sunderland, over the top marketing, do digital director of social media and all things digital and media.
Great.
My name is Dean Gialamas. I'm a commander with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. I do some leadership training. My wife and I also run a business called Send Out Cards, greeting cards and gifts, and I'll let her talk a little bit more about that.
Great. And by the way, how did you hear about the boardroom?
Well, I met you guys at I Love Marketing event a long time ago, and then I just happened to be on, I think it was the podcast or something, where I just kind of, I'm like, I'll just send a touch and base, see what happened, since that group kind of dissolved, and mentioned this, and so had a good opportunity to stop by.
Oh, the I Love Marketing down in Orange County, yeah.
Oh yeah, that one.
Good.
We kind of made a scene.
Yeah, we did. We kind of crashed the party.
You made a great impression on me, so I was like, later.
We crashed the party.
Yeah, it was cool.
Pretty precious. All right. Hi, I'm Carolyn Gialamas, and I run a Send Out Cards distributorship. But I found out about the boardroom from Cassie Alexander, who is a friend of mine from church. We also know Brian from church, and Cassie is one of my clients.
Great. So St. Angela's?
St. Angela's.
Yeah, very active.
Yeah.
They're very active.
You have kids at the school?
Not at the school.
Okay.
Scouts and
Cool.
Yeah.
Very active.
What about you?
Steve Dale, two businesses, Blind Brokers Network. We build websites for window covering retailers and all their SEO. And I own Shutter Nation, where we sell custom blinds and shutters for 35% less than Costco, 20% less than Home Depot.
We sell websites to blind guys.
Buy blind.
That's my favorite thing.
But we changed it. We sell websites to blind guys. ... Buy blind guys. It's a visual.
Okay.
It works.
All right, we're going to go with Kamari because he's the farthest away. Kamari, can you hear us?
Yeah, hi everybody. Kamari Ellis here, investment advisor with a partner in Ascension at the Ascension Group. I'm out here in Philadelphia, so hello to everybody.
Hello, man. So late out there, huh?
Yeah, yes, it is. 10 o'clock.
It's sunny here. It's kind of weird. And you, Miss 100,000 downloads.
Well, yeah, hi. My name is Esther Kish, and I'm the producer and host of Born to Influence, the marketing show. We do a daily talk show, which is interview-based with successful entrepreneurs and marketers.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Joe, are you there? He's not
Yeah, I'm here.
Why aren't you showing yourself?
I was grabbing some dinner. I didn't want you guys to look at me eating.
Oh, like I was sitting here, things going on, and I'm going.
Here I am.
Introduce yourself. You're an OG. Original.
Yes, sir. My name is Joe Garcia. I am one of the original members, and I'm a web designer and web developer, and I own a company called Wired Studios.
Welcome tonight, man.
Thank you.
And then that young whippersnapper, and it looks like a Hawaiian shirt. Are you wearing a Hawaiian shirt today? Rob.
Let me unmute myself. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, hear you great.
Cool. My name is Rob. I do business development for J. Abraham, and I also started my own website, Modern Business Creative, where I just kind of today was thinking about what it was going to be, and it's actually going to be strategic business growth consulting, but using modern tools. So yeah, just got that going, and this boardroom's been a massive help for both of the jobs I'm doing right now. And I decided to wear this Hawaiian shirt today because I hit a very accomplished milestone last night with the new interim CEO, who Jeff, by the way, says, hope you're not still hungover. And you know who I'm talking about. And
yeah,
we've been making a ton of progress. So I came in, I was like, I'm going to take a fresh new approach today. So I wore my Hawaiian shirt and came in casual.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, that is one seriously smart woman, and she is her father's daughter.
Yep.
Boy, I'll tell you. Tony.
Hello. My name is Tony Ward, and I have a company called Impact Marketing, and we do printed collateral and direct mail campaigns, mainly is what we do.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thanks.
So this is actually a pretty good turnout. Oh, who are you, late guy?
Vince with MB SportsCom. Do communication systems for football from high school all the way up.
Cool. And so you guys can see that we've got things from all walks of life here, right? And but there's common questions that we ask when you come in here, and so these are things that I want you to think about right now. But I'm going to ask the question, especially the new people that are in here, have to answer these questions. So we already know what your business is, right? So that would have been the first question. The second question is, who is your customer? And I'm saying it singular because it is singular. Who is your ideal customer? Who's the avatar of your ideal customer? Okay? And that as detailed as you can get. Okay? And then the third question is, how does your customer benefit from your service? But now you can't talk about yourself. You're now your ideal customer referring you to somebody and saying how they benefit, how that your customers benefited from your service or product. Okay, and then the last one that tends to get people, and even myself answering it every single day, is what do you do that makes you the best in the world in the eyes of your customer? Okay. So, and people are like, well, God, best in the world, and we're thinking you got to stand on the podium, with the gold medal and the national anthem playing and things like that. But remember, what we're talking about is your ideal customer, how they benefit from your service, and what do you do that makes you the best in the world? Because if you're not the best in the world in that relationship, you're just renting space. And you're doing all the heavy lifting until they find somebody that is. And it's a tragic tale, right? That all of a sudden you do that. But
but it's not an easy answer, and it's definitely not an easy existence, because you got to keep getting yourself better, and so that's what this is what it is about. So why don't you tell us who your customer is, your ideal customer?
Well, our ideal customer is, do you want like a specific age range? And
You can do whatever you want. All I'm going to tell you is, if all of a sudden I hear anyone or someone, we're starting over.
Yeah.
Because the closest thing to anyone is what, Ed? No one.
So our ideal customer is between ages of 35 and 50, professional. They've received some form of higher education, and what else? And they're somebody who's looking for a solution for neck pain, or to either to prevent or to relieve an existing condition.
Okay. Probably even more than that. They've probably tried everything, right?
Well,
that customer's tried everything. Tried everything, is giving up, and all of a sudden see something that looks like a inverted bicycle seat.
Mm-hmm.
And I look, by the way, I look at that, and I'm not too sure if that, in some format, can also lay a claim to helping with sleep apnea.
Claims are difficult.
A certain way that the head, when the head's back like this and the jaw drops and things like
But
this.
the jaw has to go forward.
We have to show studies. We have to show clinical studies or something like that.
I just look, it's just the holding the head in a different way, but I think the neck part is going to be a big deal. I know Doreen would really like to have one of those, so we'll come by your office.
Okay, we're ready to rock.
Good.
$199.
So how does your customer benefit from your service or your product? Now it's your customer talking about this.
Right. Well, what our customers have said is that it actually relieves their stiff neck. That's basically it. Not talking about differentiation, but just their actual benefit is that's what it does, is relieves their stiff neck. It keeps their neck stable, keeps their head in place, when they're using it for travel. Because, I'm sorry, this was originally designed as a travel pillow. So that was the initial focus of our marketing effort, was presenting it as a travel pillow. And the feedback that we've gotten back from people that had tried it initially was that it does support your head. It supports your head better than any of those horseshoe-shaped pillows, which is the most popular.
Right.
And I think the reason that they're the most popular is because they're cheap. The patent has run out a long time ago, so anybody can make it. Yeah. And I don't know about the entire history of that horseshoe pillow.
Right.
But there are a number of companies, including I think Tempur-Pedic also makes a version of it.
Okay.
So and right down to the $5 styrofoam ball filled pillows.
That was Aaron, Rob, calling me. Will you text him and let him know that we're in the middle of the boardroom? Sorry.
So that's essentially how it benefits our customer, is that it gives them comfort for their neck pain.
Okay. And what do you do that makes you the best in the world in the eyes of that customer?
Hopefully, just that.
Hopefully,
is that we've.
Is this a patented?
It is.
It's patented. So I guess, yeah, you're not just the best in the world, you're the only one in the world, right?
Yeah. There are a few patents that are similar, and through the patent process, we had to overcome some of the rejections from the patent
prior art.
Because of course, that's their job, and they've cited other patents, including the, the the collars,
Okay,
with
yep.
the
It goes
with
all the way
the
around.
with the occipital support. And this is different in a few ways. I can explain it to you if you like. But,
We will. Just I just wanted to be able to get through this part of it. So that's good. It's pretty good. It's there's some things that you are that I don't know you very at all, but I know that there's things that are even stronger than that. And I think that your collaboration with chiropractors and things is a brilliant move.
I think so too.
I really do.
Ideal customer.
Okay, so you're over the top marketing. You're a digital marketer. Why don't you move in a little bit so we can hear you?
Good.
Sure.
Smile.
Yeah.
So who's your ideal customer?
The ideal customer is a franchisee owner who is really passionate about their company, who's really passionate about customer service and training. That way it could really integrate best with the things that we try to do. And I think it's a person who's willing to participate and kind of be a partner rather than a person who just wants everything kind of done for them. We try to build a lot of products that they can use, and when they use them, stuff works really good. When they don't, it's kind of a missed opportunity.
Just another tool.
Yeah.
So it's kind of furniture. Okay, and your customer, how does your customer benefit from your service?
I think they
No.
develop.
Now you're a customer talking about you.
Right. Their customer service is a new weapon. Instead of answering a phone, now they answer the phone and they're able to nurture a lead much more efficiently.
How?
By having certain products that they can fill out and scripts where they can follow up. So whether a phone call is, are you open? We take that phone call and try to make that to scheduling an appointment, to grabbing an email, to grabbing a phone number, to knowing even if they're on Yelp, and to really have a meaningful conversation with the people that are calling rather than someone just answering the phone. Now we have someone answering the phone who's equipped and can really make the most of that opportunity.
Great. Fantastic. And then what do you do that makes you the best in the world in the eyes of your customer?
It's the integration with their the software we have, how it integrates with their front desk, and how it can be tied back to revenue is unique. And it's really magical when you see calls coming in and revenue generated that are tied rather than just clicks. We try to show revenue tied to those clicks or calls.
Okay. I'm going to not give it away yet, but there's an answer to number 4. There's a correct answer to number 4, at least as far as we're concerned. Nobody's been able to refute
I'm
it.
here to learn.
Well, I don't know if we should tag team this because we're here both for really send out cards.
Okay, that's fine.
So
great.
I'm going to go first.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, in a smart aleck way, because I can't use someone or anyone, I guess our ideal customer is any human being who wants to reach out and touch someone.
It can't be.
I know. So I said I was just going to start off kidding.
There you go. You want to take over for him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our ideal customer is a business that wants to have extremely loyal customers and referral partners.
Okay. What's a referral partner mean?
A lot of businesses have certain people that are power partners for them for referrals, depending on what line of business they're in. So those are people that they really want to stay connected with and have strong relationships with and acknowledge on a regular basis and appreciate on a regular basis.
We call those Starbucks partners.
You know what? And it's using the inbox that we all grew up with, as Brian Kurtz will say. He's got a big direct response, direct mail thing coming out
Absolutely.
in September, and it's
we do cards and gifts.
Yep.
So, I can tell you stories from customers of mine that are fantastic testimonials.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I'm a fan of what you guys have done there.
With the cards,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get
It's
the
old.
card.
It's old school.
It's the blend of new modern era with old school. So what essentially Netflix did for movies or iTunes did for music, this is essentially an online process. You go online, pick a card, one of 17,000 already pre-made, or you customize your own with your own handwriting, your own logo, and we print it, stuff it, stamp it, and mail it. It ships out within 24 hours of you clicking the send button. You'll know when the person receives it. So from a follow-up standpoint, you want to know if they got the card. You'll be able to just check online and determine whether that person received that contact. And you can even add small gifts to it, ranging from a 2-pack of brownies to a large wooden crate that you would get in a very high-end gifting type of business.
Or a Starbucks gift card, as Steve would say.
And when you touch people in that old way, I mean, everybody has these outreach mechanisms. But when you touch people in that personalized way, I can tell you stories of people who have sent us gifts for sending them a thank you card. I probably challenge most people in saying, how many times have you received that kind of impact right on someone for sending them a card?
Yeah.
Because that old school is big.
So you just put it online then? You basically just put it online, you just like type in whatever you want?
That's going to get an actual card.
I like that better than
What's your website?
Or is it Hallmark?
What's the website?
Yes.
What's your website?
Exactly.
Our website is cardiacards.com. CARDEA cards, all one word, .com.
Cardiacards.com.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
And okay, so we've got who they are. We kind of get that they benefit from your service because it allows them to go old school and become as hyper engaged using the thing, the note, right? Just a thank you note. It's the most powerful thing in the world. And then what do you do that makes you the best in the world in the eyes of your customer?
Train them on how to use the system and consistently support them on using the system. Because having something that you don't use does you no good.
Mm-hmm. That's good. It took about 3 years for us to figure out that there was an actual answer to number 4. And the answer to number 4 is, what do you do that makes you the best in the world in the eyes of your customer? I am you. And I know where you're going, and I've been there before, and I know the way. And I know the obstacles that you're going to face. I know the milestones that you're going to pass. I even know what you're going to say to yourself as you're going along this path. I know the self-doubt that you're going to have. I know those conversations that you're having. I know the people that are going to talk to you and challenge you and tell you you're not doing the right thing, or what the heck are you doing in some multi-level whatever type deal, and go do something real. Go do real commerce. Do something that's tangible. Go sell something. Whatever. And I know where you're going, and I've been there before, and I believe in you more than you probably believe in yourself right now. I've seen you at the top, and I know you're going to get there. And so to be able to essentially, when you can articulate the needs, desires, challenges, fears, and aspirations of the person you're working with or married to, right? Better than they can. Not better than they can to you, but better than they can to themselves. You've passed the tipping point of becoming that person's trusted advisor for life. And all you have to do is keep adding value to that relationship based on those attributes. And they'll eagerly, not willingly, but eagerly receive it for life. Right? My favorite thing when I'm talking to a customer is them saying, "What else you got? What else you got?" And I'm just like, jackpot. Right? It's not the first thing. It's the what else you got. When you recognize them so well and you're able to tell their story to them better than they can to themselves, that's the jackpot.
and we always ask questions, and there's always questions that we're being asked. Rob's boss is Jay Abraham. Have you heard of who Jay Abraham is? Okay, Jay Abraham's he's probably one of the most ripped off and respected marketing, business development, business optimization experts in the world. Okay, he's forgotten more than people will ever learn, which is probably the bane of Rob's existence, because he's forgotten more, and a lot of it he's bored with anymore. And so, but he's an extraordinary man, and he in a single question can literally change the direction of your life. And I was at dinner last night, and Rob mentioned that. Lots and lots and lots and lots of red wine last night. Yeah. And we had went over there, and it was just fun. We were just in the kitchen and going over to Jay's house, and we've become good friends, and I love his family, love his kids, and went over there and brought a bag full of seafood and steaks and stuff, and we actually pan-seared Wagyu grass-fed filet mignon last night that I made with and marinated in actually sautéed with a organic grass-fed butter churned with a French sea salt and seasonings, and we put it just like, and I ended up taking the filet and kind of slicing it thin and doing just a quick sear on this stuff. Oh my God, that was the appetizer.
What else do you do?
Right? And it was so fun. And Michelle Abraham I'd never met before. She's out here, and like Rob was just saying, the interim CEO of his enterprise and business. And she was out here, and we just literally, the conversations, the banter was fantastic. And it was a great night. But he has had the ability to ask questions of not just me, but a lot of people, and really change the course of their perspective and their direction in life. And he had asked me, and something that I think we can all ask ourselves in business. Move in a little bit so people can hear you. He asked me last July 3rd. He called me on the phone. I was still sitting in the office, like 5:30. And he says, I just have a question for you. And I said, what's that? And he says, what would have to happen for you to be able to, what did he say? Hold on. Still hungover. What would you have to do to make the results of your efforts more predictable? What would you have to do to make the results of your efforts more predictable? Okay? Because if in fact we can orchestrate predictability in our effort, then it's like an ATM machine, right? If we're able to predict the results of our effort, we now go and we're able to punch the right numbers, and cash comes out of the machine. And then all we have to do is keep punching the right numbers, and cash keeps coming out of the machine. Anytime you go back, this is what you do, and this is the result you get, right? And there's a lot of trial and error with that. But I'm like, wow, that's a really big question. And he's a modern-day Socrates. There's nobody that owns the Socratic method better than Jay does. He is fantastic. And everything is that. And so I said, God, that's really tough. And he goes, yeah, he goes, yeah, it is a tough one. He goes, so you don't have to answer it right now. I'm like, okay. He goes, but if you did have to answer it right now, what would your answer be? I just loved that. I loved when he did that. And I can't do his voice right now because I'm hurting. But it's kind of a scratchier voice, and he's a great man. But to be able to ask those questions and really be able to define what does success look like. I love that question. I love that question. What does success look like?
It's different for everybody.
But when we're sitting in this scenario, right, if in fact whoever you're talking to in business and you're able to define that expectation and frame that expectation, guess what we just created? Predictability. We now know. We framed it. We know what we have to do to get the result. We just reverse engineer what does success look like and bring us back to where we are right now. So I'm with my CFO yesterday, and I said, you know, at our first line, we're doing our projections for next fiscal year, and I go, what does success look like? She goes, the hell do you mean? I go, the very first line, the minimal load where you can exhale a little bit with this company and feel maybe not totally comfortable, but feel like, hey, we're okay, right? We're always gonna want to push further. And so she gives me a number. She goes, I'd like to have this much net profit every month. I said, okay. I go, that much net profit. What is our operating expense and interest, you know, and everything that we're paying? She gives me a number. I said, so based on that, our gross profit has to be this. She goes, yeah. And at our run rate of X percent, our sales then need to be here. And she's like, right. I said, the only thing I can have my salespeople be accountable for is that last number that we just talked about. And now I'm going to go out and work with them and break that number down. But if we start to dilute their responsibilities with profit margin and operating expense and all this type of stuff, what are they focusing on? What they're second guessing themselves. And so when we start to ask those very simple questions, you know, what do you have to do? I mean, it's a great question, but what do you have to do to be able to predict the result, you know, to be able to predict the results of your efforts? And so for me, it was, let's reduce the stuff that we're doing. Let's not try and be all things to all people. Let's not do these things that take us away from our core offering. And the second we did that, and this is last July, right? The second we did that, our business started growing. The second we stopped doing stupid stuff, our business started growing. And now we're able to see stupid stuff and actually identify that one particular stupid thing instead of it being a messy room saying, where the hell do we start? Because there's a whole bunch of stupid things in the room. And so that's being able to ask those simple questions. And just, but the guy that called on the phone, we're sitting there talking to a brilliant guy at an event earlier in the year, and he's a guy that can literally get helps kids with their music career. Okay, his name's Rick Barker, and he's a brilliant super guy. And he used to be Taylor Swift's manager. In her first 5 million albums, he was Taylor Swift's manager. And he's able to literally, he's got this blueprint, the music industry blueprint. He's got all these things, and he's talking about the romance of what he does. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care at all. What does success look like for a customer? Well, what do you mean? I go, what is it? Is it $1,000 they're making? You know, is it this? I mean, what is that number? And let's reverse engineer all of the things that you do to say this is how we get to that number. And so when all of a sudden Jay asked that question of me in July 3rd, everything now is saying, how do I predict the results of my efforts, and what does success look like? You know, Dean Jackson, people heard Dean Jackson in here, right? Dean Jackson has, I know I'm being successful when. Not, I know I've become successful. I know I'm being successful in the act of that. And he's got this list that's just ridiculous for the common person. But, you know, I get to get up in the morning. I get up every morning without an alarm, and I say, what do I get to do today? You know, stuff like that. You're like, oh, bull crap. First time I saw that video, I told him, I'm like, F that guy. He's full of it. And I even told him, you know, because I know him pretty well. And I go, yeah, first time I saw it, I go, F that guy. He goes, F me. He goes, I'm like the nicest guy in the world. Well, how would you say that? You know what I mean? And I was like, it wasn't that. It was so far away from my reality that I wanted to absolutely deject it, reject it, throw it out the door, and anything else I could do, and stomp on it. So, but those are questions, right? And so, what's a neat thing about what we do and what we're doing here, right, is everything's kind of a networking play. You know, we're improving our, as again, I'll quote Jay 1,000 times, but we're improving our relational capital, right? Who are those people that might not be a customer of yours, but does something that you don't do that brings value to what you can do, and what can you do that brings value to what they do that they don't do? So when I ask that fourth question, what do you do that makes you the best in the world in the eyes of your customer? If you're the best in the world in the eyes of your ideal customer, then you can feel very confident that somebody else has something that you know can benefit your customer, but you're going to bring that to that customer, and you're going to introduce that particular, you know, supplier or vendor or something to that particular customer without any fear of that customer going away. Because why? You're the best in the world in their eyes. And all you're doing is continuing to add value to that relationship, right? And so relational capital at that point is that thing, right? And so you only find that, by the way, when you stop looking for it. And you start just being and observing and asking questions and doing that. And that's where the questions come. On the back of my business card are 5 questions that we ask every single customer that we see. I did it last time. You guys have seen this before. Tony is the guy that created it. I mean, I have the questions, but these questions, when we go out for seafood, right, and we're talking to chefs, and this is what I use, and this is what I use, and this is it, and I know the old story of the pot roast story. You guys all know the pot roast story, right? The wife is cutting the pot roast, the ends of the pot roast off, and she goes, husband goes, why are you doing that? Oh, because it makes it taste better. Who told you that? My mom did. You know, goes to the mom, why do you do that? Because it makes it taste better. Who told you that? My mom did. He finally gets to the great grandma and says, why do you cut the ends off? She goes, because our oven was so small we couldn't fit the whole pot roast in there, or the whole roast in there. You know, so there's a reason why somebody's using seafood, the seafood that they're using, and it's because the chef taught him use that. Right? It's an agrarian deal, right? You know, you're the apprentice, the journeyman, and then the master chef. And so you're doing what somebody else is doing, right? And so we go and ask these questions, and 73% of the time when we ask these questions in their entirety, the customer is not using the best available option for their application, i.e. the most effective option. And so, and over the last 6.5 years, we've saved the restaurant operators that we work with $3.5 million, over $3.5 million in annual food costs. So it's just the questions, and it's so funny because I'll show people my card that are in different industries, and David Bach, and I've told this story 100 times, so I don't mean to bore the people that heard it, but David Bach, who's the New York Times best-selling author, Automatic Millionaire, the whole deal, and on my card he goes, what are these? Those are questions I ask every single one of my customers. And he goes, are you kidding me? And I go, no. He goes, you put them on the back of your card. I go, yeah. He goes, that is awesome. He said genius, and I was embarrassed, but because whatever. And he said, that's just incredible. He goes, I have 7 questions that I ask every one of my prospective clients. And I said, okay. He goes, can I put those on the back of my card? And I'm like, yes.
I grant you permission.
Yeah, yes.
If you insist.
You know, you got to pay me 10 cents a card, but that's it. But it's just, you know, being there and being there and being sincere about what you're looking for. You know, it's just it's helping when we're asking the questions. All we're trying to do is better the situation. You know, it's when I'm in a conversation with my dad here sometimes, and he'll ask a question, and I go to answer it,
and he's already answering it. And I'm like, I need you to stop that. I just need you to ask the question and listen for the answer. You know, and it's just, but he's 75 years old. That's fine. But that happens too often, right? We ask the question, or we already make the assumption that we already know. You know, whatever. This is going to be, nobody's going to show up to the boardroom tonight at 6:45. Nobody's going to be here, or 6:30. Thomas was saying. At 6:30, nobody's going to be here. I'm here by myself. Nobody's going to be here. That's when I know people are going to be here, because I just made an assumption, right? And so, you know, those questions are very important. So, and again, it's those conversations. The conversations that we have here are about questioning people. You know, respectfully questioning people. And so that's what we want to be able to do here. The boardroom now has 371 members as of today in 23 countries. And it has afforded a lot of people in this room a lot of collaboration and business. Okay, I know Esther has interviewed a lot of people, and Esther's had been commissioned with some of the members here with her expertise in social media, in podcasting, and developing that. I know Joe's had some business here. I know Rob has been introduced to some people here through the boardroom. Tony's done business. I think, Glenn, have you done any business here?
A little bit.
Yeah, you've done a little bit of business. Have you done any business here?
With the other members?
Yeah.
Or, yes.
Yeah. And if you were a little bit more charming, you'd probably do a lot more. But I think that everybody can you know, can see that there's an opportunity here. But when we're here, we're about what can we offer to somebody, and it's about asking that question. You know, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. You know, we need to throw those out the door, especially if that's going to be with a period. You know, who can I talk to that'll help me with that? And that's where the Facebook group is really strong. You know, and it's really valuable. And that type of collaboration, and the more energy you put into it, the more energy you'll get out of it. Okay, this guy can never stay awake during his. I close my eyes during the liturgy.
I do too. I'm up there.
That's it. So, but we also, I just want to quickly, we have a contest that's out there, and there are some entries, and I'm gonna do a better job at following it up. But it's a 5 steps, right? 5 steps to success. So this was the email, or the thread that went out. Let's start a new super thread, 5 steps to success. We have a lot of superstars in the boardroom. Let's take all this superness out for a test drive. Hang in there with me. I'm going to start a contest in the boardroom called 5 Steps to Success. 5 Steps to Success is your best strategy, method, or process that can be implemented to achieve a quantifiable result in only 5 steps. So if somebody was to call you and you have a unique ability, right? A superpower, and somebody is to call you and say, in 5 steps, you know, how do I do this? You know, how do I set up a podcast? How can I at the beginning of the week put 25 tweets into some kind of system and press the button and have it spit out these tweets, you know, in sequential order over the next 5 days, because I'm going to be on a trip and I don't want to do this. You know, how can I, you know, so that's what we're talking about. Want to get 1,000 likes on your page? I'm sure Brett Campbell can show you how to do in 5 steps. You want to have your video leap to the top of the search engine in a matter of minutes? Stephen Dale can show you in 5 steps. Want to set up a new project that employs a number of people in your office? Nakia DeVita can show you how to do that in 5 steps. How about driving massive interest in your podcast through a simple social strategy? Esther Kiss can do that in 5 steps. Want to connect with your audience in Facebook using Ninja paid advertising? Dan Giulianotti is your man in 5.
Want to know how to set up a massively convertible framework for online business success? Aaron and Fletcher has just the 5 gems to get you on your way. Need a simple process to accomplish anything? Joseph Rodriguez has one, and guess how many steps it is? I could go on and on. These are just some examples, but I think you get the picture. Now, just giving a 5-step process gets you in the contest. When people use your process and get quantifiable results, that's when you win the contest. Every applicable entry will be rewarded, but the big prizes come from the quantity and quality of the results. Don't have a 5-step process? Then implement one of the 5-step processes, and you're entered into the Action Taker Sweepstakes. So you see a 5-step process, put it into play, and get a result, and now you're part of an action taker, right? The 5 steps prizes will be awarded for people who apply the 5-step processes and achieve quantifiable results. The 5 Steps to Success sweepstakes starts Monday, 5/19, and goes till the end of May, so until next Friday. Then the contest starts again in June. Okay, we're going to carry forward the 5 steps to success that people have put in, but the action takers can always go back to any one of these 5 steps for success. Grand prize every month is $100 for the 5 steps to success providers, the ones that gave the 5 steps to success, and $100 for the action taker. These are paid in Wild Things seafood gift certificates.
That rocks.
Okay.
I like that.
If out of the country, you'll receive an Amazon gift card. Every 5 STS provider gets $10 in Wild Things gift certificates. We need 5 entries to validate the contest every month. You can enter as many times as you like, up to 5 per month. Every provider and action taker will be recognized as officially awesome by the board. What do you say, Ewan? So we started to get we started to look, and it was like all the 5 steps I'm sure I would pay for. If I have a network of go-to experts with go-to products I can buy, I'd pay it. I currently focus on looking at what skills I need to develop to grow my business model. I have software and info marketing for these, and so he starts to put like where he goes for his resources, but that's not the 5-step process. Karen Greenstreet was the first one to put this in. Karen Greenstreet's actually, do you know who Karen is? Has anybody heard of Karen in here? Karen actually teaches people how to do paid masterminds. Okay, and so she's an extraordinary lady. She's written books on it, and so if you want to do something and have a paid one. Quite frankly, I don't want to put that much effort into having a paid one. If you pay me, I have to do something. That's it. So she said 5 steps to increase your mailing list by 1,000. Create a research survey on the topic that's attractive to your local audience. Get JV partners to offer a freebie to anyone who completes the survey. Freebies could be targeted to the audience and not a freebie that the general public would want. JV partners build their list this way. Offer your JV partners a detailed report with the survey results so they can get 2 goodies from the JV, additions to their list and detailed research results to help them run their businesses. Put your free offer for the results on the top of the report at the top of your freebie page, landing page where you go after they've completed the survey, which is a sign-up box. Pull all your JV partners' freebie offer on the same landing page. Put all of them on the same landing page that links to their pages with sign-up boxes. You and your JV partners send an email inviting people to the survey. When your survey time frame is complete, write a basic results report for your mailing list and a detailed results report for your JV partners. So I mean, I think that like if she was on here right now, we could ask her what the hell some of that stuff meant. But I
actually tried to mind map this. I wrote it out on this paper. I tried to mind map it, and it goes in an endless loop. But the difficulty is who are your JV partners? That should be the next 5-step program. How to get a JV partner.
Right. Yeah. And how to exactly. And so, but you see what I'm saying. And so all of a sudden, we're looking at this, and I'm going, God, we get a pretty good thread here. Whoever created that 5-step process, and then whoever got a result out of it, becomes their own chapter in a book.
Not only that, you can the best blog post to get the most.
Hey, here's an offer at the New York Times bestseller.
X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. Here's an here's an easy Facebook ad remarketing strategy that's killing it in just 5 steps. In Facebook Power Editor or Ads Manager, select audiences, create audiences, and then choose custom audience from your website. Click on a View Remarketing Pixel. Geez, I'm not even going to read this. This is. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna talk to these guys and have them expound on that, and we're gonna put that up on. I'm gonna interview them on Skype and record it, and then
that's the only hard part.
And
is
then
the pixel. Everything else is easy.
the what?
That's the only hard part is the pixel. Everything else you do with.
Okay, well, talk to us. Okay, I'm gonna read this, and you tell us what the hell all this means, right?
Sure.
Okay. So Facebook Power Editor, Ads Manager, select audiences, create audiences, and then choose custom audience from your website. What's that mean?
There's a lot of ways to do it. So that one is actually, it takes the audience from your website. So you have a website, and if people are on Facebook and they go to your website, it's going to count that, and it's going to start building a profile. And so then the goal is that.
How does it build a profile?
Well, it has a cookie on it.
Okay.
Yeah. So when they come to your website, if they're logged into Facebook, it captures that, sends the data back to Facebook, and so now you have a custom audience of people that have already been to your website. So instead of just hitting Facebook up with ads for, randomos, now it's only people that have already been to your website.
Oh.
And you could say only people that have been to the shopping cart page, or only people that have gone through this many pages, and don't do it to people that have seen the thank you page. So.
It's very similar to remarketing with AdWords.
Okay, so it's click on View Remarketing Pixel and install this code into your website, and it gives the code. It should be on all pages, so you use WordPress. It's easy. Okay, cool.
Is the code?
It just says body/body tag or something like that.
It's different for everyone's Facebook though, right?
Yeah.
My code's different than your code, right? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Well, don't download the code you did there.
It just says body. I don't even know what that means.
It's really if you don't. Yeah, when you're in Facebook and you say give me this pixel, it just gives you a piece of code and you give it to your webmaster or you can do it yourself and you just drop it there
for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no
That's
heavy,
for the tracking.
there's no heavy lifting. Yeah, and that's one way to do it. Another way, which I think might be easier for some people, if you already have a big email list, you could have Facebook generate a audience based on that email list too. So if you have a couple hundred people or 1,000 people on the email list, and you want to market to those people in Facebook, you can do that with the audience. You upload your email lists or your user IDs too. User ID, so every single profile has a user ID, and so if there was a group, say Boardroom, I could actually scrape the whole page and grab the user ID for each one of them, and I could remarket to everybody who's on the Boardroom through Facebook.
I heard that the scraping thing is about ready to get slammed.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Brian Moran.
Yeah, I heard the same thing just now in the Internet Marketing Super Friends group. They were talking about it, that a lot of people are getting their accounts shut down. You can't, unless those people opted in. If you have your own app that you had developed or somebody developed for you, and those people allowed the app to access their page, and that's why you have their user ID, then you can use that for custom audiences. But with scrapers.
Go ahead, Esther.
No, that's it.
Can Jeff scrape his own group email addresses? How does he do that?
Well, the email addresses of your clients, you mean?
No, of the people in the boardroom, of the 371 people in the boardroom, which is a private group.
Yeah, there's software that does it.
Yeah.
I have it.
Can I use it?
Emails
I need it on my own.
Emails aren't that good, but the user IDs that you can get.
Yeah, the user IDs, you can get that. You can actually go into your competitors' pages, and anybody that's liked it or anything like that, you can scrape all those and then,
Is this software from the Middle East?
Steve,
No,
I can give you something too, but just you might want to make another account in case of it gets shut down.
I mean, it's anything that any person can do it. You can go to any page and just grab the ID And
Well, I have 1,800 people in there that I want to market to.
Yeah.
But I don't want to market to them through Facebook.
This is it, right here.
What's it called? What's it called?
This is called FB Graph Beast. So that's what it is. It's
FB
Graph Beast.
It says grass.
Yeah.
Grass-fed
Grass beef. buy more seafood from Wild Things.
What was the last word?
Beast.
Graph beast.
Graph.
Graph.
Like
Oh.
graphic paper.
FB graph.
We're gonna be here all night while Steven's doing this thing.
Yeah, essentially it's the same thing when you pick interest and it says, people who like this or this, but it's very limited. So if you're like, I know people like, say chiropractic, and there's a page that says, I like people who like chiropractic, that's not available. So then you would have to go to it and you would have to actually type in Facebook, people who like this page, and it's going to give you a huge list. So this program will just cycle through the whole list and just go through the code and just grab the ID for one of those.
Yeah. The yeah. So there's a whole world there. I was on the phone with Brian Moran. Do you guys know who Get 10,000 Fans? It was the Sam Cart, the whole deal, which is excellent. So I was on the phone last Saturday with him. He was just coming back from New York, and we were chatting about him being in the boardroom and stuff. I started talking to him about my wife's business and saying, hey, I got FB Graph Beast, and we're gonna scrape all the high schools and be able to do all this stuff. And he's just like, I don't use it. I don't use stuff like that. He goes, I've been so successful being able to look at my customer base like a person and really identify where they are, and then just test. He goes, it gets me further down the road faster. And this is a kid that's still not 30 yet. I think he's 28, maybe, and went from doing like $5,000 a month in revenue to over 100 in January to over $100,000 a month in June. I mean, the trajectory was insane, right? And I was with him for 3 days, and I was just peppering him with all kinds of inappropriate questions about it. But I didn't, I wanted to know, right? And so we had a good relationship. And I know that Sam Cart, just as a real aside, Sam Cart, even though he had all this great success, he was a millionaire, the whole deal. He wanted to create something that represented the engine that businesses run with, not just teach people how to do stuff, which changes every day, but to create the engine that somebody uses to run their business, to drive the commerce of their business. And that's what SamCart is. And it's really cool to see, know somebody from the deepest down to say, this is what I want, and then to see it happening. It's really inspiring. But he was saying he doesn't use that. So click on the marketing, configure your custom audience, give your custom audience a name. For website traffic, select people visiting specific pages. So this is him doing the custom audience, right?
It's after the custom audience, so he's kind of segmenting, as I understand it, he's kind of segmenting it down.
Okay.
So even if you have a big custom audience, you still want people, if you want to get really hyper-targeted. So it's almost like the conversion circles. I want people who like this, but who also this, and I want the people right in the middle who have those two things in common. Because you can't always do that in Facebook, but when you make a custom audience, it helps you do that.
Okay. Yeah, I had narrowed down when I did a deal, and I was just coming back from being with Dean Jackson, and Brian was in this thing, and he taught me at lunch how to do the custom audiences and really drill down.
Yeah.
And I did a thing before a warehouse sale here, and we were averaging about $5,000 a month in the sale, and which wasn't bad, but whatever. And I did this thing where I did a pay-per-click with a video and opt-in, the whole deal, right, through Facebook. And every single audience was its own zip code. So even in the in the title. You know, if it was Brea, it would say, "Hey Brea, want some free fish?" Hey Anaheim, want some free fish? And it went, and so it dealt with those, you know, whatever cities those were in their zip codes. But then I was like, okay, people into barbecue, people into football, people into Notre Dame football, people into, I mean, it was just, it went for, I was building this custom audience for probably 90 minutes, like literally getting so granular. Food Channel, you know, it's this, and this, right? So we really, when we talk about who is your customer, the purest sense of who is your customer is getting into building a custom audience in Facebook, because now you're having a conversation with them. You know, Neil Rackham says in spin selling, you know, we're entering a conversation already taking place in the customer's mind. You know, and so being able to do that, and I think that that's where Brian was from, not a philosophical standpoint, but I think that he just found that he engaged with his customers better when he created it himself.
If he's been doing it a while too, I've been doing it for like basically when the platform's open and just trying to sell hot sauce. I mean, but I could definitely relate to that because the tools weren't available, and so what you would do is you would just throw a lot of money at it, and if you didn't want to spend a lot of money, you would just see your budget and then go through line by line and say who are the people that actually clicked on this, and then you actually find out exactly male, female, age, and then you'd make another one and you would just limit it just to that age, and then you would do another one just for this male, so maybe
and
male.
it's hyper targeted, so your clicks are cheaper, right?
Right, but you had to do it kind of really manually. You had to get your hands really dirty because it wasn't as just crazy now where, you know, here's my custom audience, and now go out and grab a similar one and just blow it up to now 2 million people, and now do like reverse PP or pay per conversion, and so then Facebook's actually finding out who was converting, and then so there's a lot of the heavy lifting now, but before it didn't, and you had to actually get your hands dirty, and there's a lot of benefit to that, and that still might be a better way than all the options Facebook's giving you to spend more money now.
This is pretty involved. And so then it says, when creating an ad campaign on Facebook, select the custom audience you'd like to include and exclude. This is the audience part of the 3-step ad creation process: creative, audience optimization, and pricing. This is pretty significant. You know what? I'm gonna talk to them, and we're just gonna start posting those. I'm gonna start interviewing people.
It'd be better if you could do a screen capture video.
You know what I'll do? I've got a Join Me account, and so we can literally be on there, and I can give him the screen or whatever.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Or do a screen cast-o-matic.
We'll do that. Can we do that? What I want to be able to do is be able to record it and then put that on.
Yeah, the screencast-o-matic, that's a great idea.
I use screencast-o-matic. It's ridiculously easy. It's $15 a year.
Where is your 5-step process in here?
It's a video. I posted a video.
How am I supposed to read a video? I don't see it.
I'm sorry, but I posted a video.
All right. Well, we're going to look at this, but anyway,
I went way above the Call of Duty.
All right. So we're gonna do that. Esther, do you think it's easy to be able to? Well, I guess it's not even a podcast at that point, is it?
No, all you have to do is have him download Screencast-O-Matic and demonstrate what he's doing, and then just post it.
But I want to ask him questions while he's doing it.
Well, you could do that. You could use Team Viewer and go on and have him invite you to his screen and be on Team Viewer. And you'll be
but
able
there's
to
also
see.
a premium Skype account, and then I've got Pamela.biz.
Jeff,
Yeah.
you can actually use Google Hangout and have them share the screen. So you can use the technology you're currently using now, and just have whoever you're going to interview share their screen, and you can talk over it at the same time.
And then he can lay.
Just because I'm using the technology, Kamari, doesn't mean I know how to use it.
Right.
Right? I've had to have Esther show me
It's
that.
okay. John knows. If he totally knows. But if not, I can always show you. It's okay. It's easy.
Cool.
You have friends.
Right?
That's right.
You have friends.
So
Can you post those to the Boardroom
yeah,
Facebook page?
yeah. That's, if you guys haven't noticed, like that's where a lot of the energy's going right now. You know, for me, I like this. I love this to be this way, and we're going to continue to do stuff. We're going to make it a little bit more organized. And It was supposed to be a little more organized today, except that pesky wine thing happened last night.
We need to do a hot seat live.
What was the Michelle used these words, Rob. She has succumbed. What did she say? I have fallen victim to the pouring protocols at the Abraham house. I was like, you are your father's daughter, man.
Yeah, she's really sharp, man. She's taught me a lot in the last few days, and we've made so much progress in 2 or 3 days, probably more than the whole year. I mean, because it was so tightly focused, and she's really cool.
So I want to tell a story before we get into. I want to start getting into some of our best sales stuff, okay? But a couple of cool stories. This JJ Virgin thing for me, and I don't know who read the email and everything. I was pretty proud of that, and we started working on this. Yeah, you can bring it over here. So the story, and if you can just read it. It's on our Facebook deal. Click on the constant contact deal. But JJ and I have got a good relationship, and I don't know if you know who JJ Virgin is, but she's New York Times best-selling author of The Virgin Diet, and this is her cookbook. And when you start to think about no gluten, no dairy, no soy, no eggs, no peanuts, no sugar, right? And you go, what the hell can I eat? And it's like, the first thing I see in her cookbook is a freaking pancake. Swedish-style pecan pancakes here. And I'm looking through all these dishes, and I'm like, they're fantastic dishes. And then finally, on the second to last page, almond dark chocolate bark with sea salt. OMG, right? So I love JJ, and we've just really, she's really helping me get to health. I mean, she's not one of those nutritionists that guesses. She's like, I want labs. As a matter of fact, she's on me because I haven't done a urine test now.
Why don't you do it right here live?
Right?
Why not?
So,
accountability.
But it was just one of those things where I'm like, I'm cooking at home and it's really fun, and Doreen and I are doing some fun stuff, and she goes, hey, why don't we promote the cookbook at Wild Things? I was like, kind of like a half. I was like, yeah, cool. So I was thinking that is a really good idea. I want to share this story, and it's always better to take a journey with other people, right? Without being, here's the, I woke up and, brushed my teeth and all that kind of crap, right? And so I'm just sharing the journey, because I haven't had a craving for anything, like anything, in weeks. Sugar craving, anything. I mean, it's amazing. And as you're going to see this revolution against sugar and against processed foods and against high fructose corn syrup and things that are happening now. There's a movie out that's playing in theaters called Fed Up that Katie Couric is driving right now. JJ is coming out with a book about sugar in August, and she's going to be on PBS. She's going to be everywhere. It'll be a New York Times bestseller, and I mean, she'll crush it. Dr. Hyman, all these guys are all really trying to reveal how bad sugar is, and what it does. And so you were? And so, actually, JJ helped write a lot of the nutritional protocols for Dr. Amen.
Oh, actually, the Omni Diet is Dr. Amen's wife wrote it.
And so, but the protocols, the earlier protocols, and so, and they're really good friends and everything like that. And so, all of a sudden, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to tell this story. I'm going to make this offer. And so I called JJ, and I'm like, hey, I want to buy like 40 or 50 books. And she's just coming back because she was one of the keynote speakers at the California Women's Conference. And so she's driving back out to Palm Desert. And she's like, yeah, let's work that out. Let's do it. Totally. Right? So she ends up selling me the DVD and the book for $20 a piece, 50 for $1,000, right? And then she gave me another 50 of each. So it's like I'm giving these things away. I tell the story, right? And it's a story like when you start to write, you write as you're telling a story, not as way you think you're supposed to write when you're writing, and it really helps. It really, really, the conversion of this. I mean, the phone, everything, all day long. People were just like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad," and I'm in, and you know, how did you do that? How were you able to give her book away, and you know, all this type of stuff. And it's just it's an extraordinary relationship, but it's relational capital. It's networking, right? It's promotion, and really being able to look. And the more we see the minuscule success that we have with Wild Things versus my regular business, there's just so much more that can be done. And you know, when you're healthy and you're clear of mind and you're not into the bag for 8 glasses of red wine, you can think.
Which is because where was she when you were having your wine last night?
She
And your beef
I have to report to her.
in the butter.
I have to report to her every day. The butter wasn't a problem for her because I'm in stage 2 of this thing, and so you can do that type of stuff. You know.
Is it working?
What?
Are you losing weight? Do you
Yeah.
feel better?
You didn't read the
energy?
story. You didn't read the story. You got to read the story. Put the book down until you read the story. Joseph. But but yeah, I've lost 18 pounds in 6 weeks, I guess.
Nice.
But I've also got I've got problems with my thyroid. I've got problems with testosterone. I got a lot of adrenal problems from stress and things like that. So, if I didn't have those problems, I'd probably be about 25 pounds down, from what I'm doing. And so but that's all coming back. And so she's really kind of helped that along. But this was cool. So now all of a sudden I've got this woman that not only is helping me get healthy, but she's over my shoulder as I'm doing this. And she goes, now every single week you blog about that with a recipe and an offer every single week. She goes, it'll inspire you to keep going. And she goes, and you'll have a relationship that you've never had. I think at Wild Things, when people come here, we have a really good relationship with them. I mean, I'm cooking food for them. I mean, that builds enough relationship, and that's a cool thing. But to be not only coached health-wise by somebody like that, but be coached by somebody who's going to become a 2-time New York Times bestseller, selling author, is on TV all over the place. On the Today Show all the time, and that type of stuff. It's pretty rewarding. And that's where I didn't look for her. I wasn't looking for her. I didn't know how badly I needed somebody like that, but I wasn't looking for her. Joe Polish called out of the blue, and just like, hey, you ever heard of J.J. Virgin? And I was like, yeah. He goes, how? I go, I bought her book, and I bought her. Did you ever use it? And I go, what do you think? He's like, no. And so he introduces us right then, and it was cool. So, those things happen, and I'm not saying good things happen to good people, that does happen, and that's not the moral of this story. But good things happen to people because this thing doesn't happen. Our relationship doesn't flourish if I don't make myself part of her business and her life, as far as what she's doing. And that just gives permission for somebody to be part of your life, and I just think that's an important thing. If we can continue to tell that story better than we can to themselves, they can to themselves, you've really, there's a level of intimacy in that as well. And so continuing to shoot for that, continuing to become that person and be more, and be able to tell a story and be that trusted advisor and the trusted friend is a big deal. And I trust her implicitly, and I think that we've got a great future together business-wise, and she's really helped me out with health. And as a matter of fact, she's hired my wife to help with her son in the college application process. So on the 7th, I go out there
my wife and I go out, or probably go out on the 6th to make it a weekend. But 7th, we cook in her kitchen all afternoon, in her studio kitchen, and then go out to dinner that night, and then what the hell's that?
It's your phone.
What's Rob's messaging me? Rob, should I not be looking at what you're saying?
Sorry, I didn't know it was going to ding while you were talking.
Called out.
Attaboy. But we're going to do that, and then on Sunday she's going to meet with her son and have their first meeting and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool.
Early.
Yeah. So a lot of things are good that way. Sales. You know, who's seen the video from Joe Polish is selling evil? Okay.
Love it.
Come on, Esther. If I wanted to show a video right now, what would I do?
I really don't know if you can bring it into the Hangout. You might try with a screen share, and then just go to that, do a screen share, and go to the YouTube video.
Wait, why did that YouTube thing just come up as I asked for that?
Hey Jeff, if you send me the link, I can broadcast it to the whole group.
That's it's. What did I just do?
Is it funny?
I just pulled up the YouTube. You can use YouTube inside of the Google Hangout.
Yeah.
So as long as we have the link, and I know it's out there somewhere, we can just watch it right here within the Google Hangout.
Yeah, Jeff, I already have the app going. If you want to send me the link, I can broadcast it for everyone.
Where do I go now? What do I do?
Just copy paste the link and send it to me on Facebook, and I'll pop it on there.
But okay.
Okay, go up to the where it says you can click on that. See if you can get the YouTube that way.
No.
No.
So open up another tab.
What did I do?
Hey, I got it. I got you, Jeff. Can I send you a link?
It's sellingevil.com. It's just I guess the video. It's
selling what?
If I go to YouTube.
No, wait a minute. You're recording on YouTube right now, so you're going to be prevented from it.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to record a YouTube. It's not going to play a YouTube video while you're recording on YouTube, will it?
Well, let's see.
We can try.
There you go.
Can you guys see that?
Selling evil? Well,
Mhm.
my favorite definition.
Can you see it?
You don't know.
No, I can hear it, but I can't see it.
Okay, that's what I want. You know what? I'd rather just listen to it anyway. So let's.
My very dear friend Dan Sullivan, who is brilliant, and he said that commit to take action to achieve that result. So if you just look at that definition, it's profound. Getting someone intellectually engaged in a bigger future that's good for them, and getting them to emotionally commit to take action to achieve that result. Well, if you take out the word good for them, then selling could be evil. Okay, meaning Martin Luther King got people intellectually engaged in a future result and got them to commit to take action. Mother Teresa did. John F. Kennedy did. Well, so does every salesperson on the planet. So did Hitler. Hitler got people intellectually and emotionally engaged in a future result that murdered people. Wasn't good in that standpoint. But saying that selling is evil is like saying oxygen is evil. Oxygen is bad. The human body, no organism could survive without oxygen. No business can survive. No country can survive. No economy can survive and be free without sales. Sales is the oxygen that makes all of it work. You eliminate salespeople, you've eliminated the entire sales. Most people learn what it is they know about cars, about financial instruments, about plumbing, about anything, more from salespeople than they do from school. It's the salespeople that are incentivized to actually sell a product or service because they might actually make money or commission that are out there educating people about it. Think about all of the things we know in our life that we learned about because we went to a store and someone told us about it. I mean, if you go to a department store and someone starts explaining how to use a DVD player, I mean, it's not like you're sitting home watching a documentary on how to a DVD player works. I mean, you learn that stuff from salespeople. So not only are salespeople not evil, salespeople are saviors. Marketers are saviors. They are the carriers of messages all over the world. Every significant selling ever happened. Well, my favorite definition, because someone was a very self-here sold.
Looks like we lost the boardroom.
It froze on me earlier, and then I had to leave and come back so that I could see it again.
Oh man. I'm gonna leave and come back in too.
Yeah, we lost him.
Okay, now leave and come back.
Well, if everybody leaves, they lost it, then we'll not be able to come back.
That's true.
Hopefully they'll be able to come back. I'll call Jeff and let him know that he needs to click on the link again.
I think here he comes.
Back.
There.
We're
Okay,
back.
perfect. Yeah, I was just calling you to let you know that we lost you guys.
Yeah, I'm stupid. Okay, so anyway, the thing that he says, you know, and I would watch that a bunch of times, but selling is educating, right? And selling is asking questions, and selling is providing that, and that's what he's talking about, is getting somebody emotionally, what did he say? Emotionally committed to a result that's good for them, right?
Emotionally and intellectually engaged in something that's better for them in the future, something like that.
There you go, exactly. And so there's power in that. And so when we're talking about selling, I don't want to, the reason I framed it that way is because there's a creepiness. You know, somebody's like, yeah, I did this, and and it closed the deal. You know, like we were doing some kind of manipulation, and that's really not what we're talking about. Except Joe's. No.
That's right.
Joe's doing it, but it
works.
No, he's a smart sales guy over there. Very smart. And but to be able to at least identify, you know, our best sales story. What did we do that took it over the top? What did we do to save that? What did we do to create a sale where you really thought there was none? You know, what was the thing? And we'll probably find this is a common theme. Kamari.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, sales. When you're talking about your very best sales technique, sales strategy, what is that one thing that you do that you can almost predict the results of your effort?
I am actually still testing that out, Jeff, to be honest.
Okay. All right. So are you passing on this right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass. I'm a punt on this one.
All right. Esther?
I think it's a takeaway. If somebody's not ready to work with you, then it's like, well, okay. Yeah. And then they suddenly come after you.
Okay. Joe? Joe's probably sleeping like oh, here.
No, I'm here. What was the question again?
What is your best sales technique or sales the thing you do that you do over and over again that lands the deal for you?
I think what works for me is just making a connection with people. If I'm able to have a conversation with them, they usually work with me. I guess if they like me. So, because I don't really, my weakest point is like marketing. So I don't really have a way of like a funnel or anything like that. So I just work relationships. So if I'm able to have some kind of relationship with people, that usually creates work for me.
Okay.
Cool.
And Jeff, I misunderstood the question. So I thought you were talking about like a system put in place, not an actual sales technique.
No, it's just a technique. Something that you do that is your go-to card.
Well, for me, everything is multi-step. So I usually I'm doing an interview first off the bat. So I don't really have a sales technique per se, but everything I'm presenting is in tune with what the customer wants, and their overall objectives and fulfilling their objectives. So I don't really have to deal with overcoming objections. I haven't dealt with overcoming objections in a long time. So I would probably say just presenting what we talked about in the beginning, and then showing them the options that they have.
Okay. Who in this room or in the boardroom, who in here considers yourself a sales professional, a literal, like a person that has studied sales, the techniques of sales, and really driven it home? Is anybody here like spent 1,000 hours doing this stuff?
A little bit, not 1,000, not 10,000, that's for sure.
Okay. Have you?
Yeah, I actually went through the Dale Carnegie course.
Okay. So what is your go-to?
I actually, it's interesting you say this. I forced myself to spend 10 hours a week in new business development, and it's all via phone. And I have dual screen, and I keep notes on every single person. I have 5 windows open at a time, and I make sure that I'm constantly tweaking my script. Constantly. You'll never hear the same script twice because I tweak. So, and it always could be better. So it's my relentless pursuit of making it better. I never stop making it better.
Cool. I don't think that's concrete enough for what I'm. I want somebody to leave today and go, I'm going to do that tomorrow. Right?
Sounds like
somebody doing the dishes or something like that.
Milking a cow.
Joe, mute yourself for a second.
He's showing me.
Mute. It is muted?
Yeah.
Rob, mute yourself for a second. Oh, Tony. It was Tony. It was Tony. Okay.
It wasn't me. I wasn't milking a cow.
No, it sounds like it was like there was like an air, like an air conditioner is blowing into your microphone or something like that. Tony,
it's really loud.
What is your go-to sales move?
My go-to, well, what I do anytime I go to see a new prospect, I walk through the door with creatives already done. So I research my client base, or I research the prospect, whoever they might be, what they're looking to do in my first discovery phone call with them, and then when I walk through the door, I've already created a direction or a campaign for them without charging them to do so.
That's called performance in advance, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love the underdog. I love the small guy who's trying to grow his business, who wants to look like the big guy but doesn't want to spend their money or doesn't have the money. So I would say there's a lot that we do for them in advance. There's a lot that we do creatively for free. We charge them very little when we do the creative side of it, because the way we look at it is we will create the relationship with that client, and we'll be able to help them grow their business, which will keep them in our yard. There's no reason for them to leave once we've helped them grow their business. We've got proven track records over the past 10 years on direct mail campaigns, on creatives, and things of that nature. So when I walk through the door and I've already given them what they're looking for, and they like what they see, and they've had maybe the track record they've had with the person that they're currently with. I love it when I walk through and they say, well, I've been working with somebody now for a year, and our business is the same as it was a year ago. Awesome. that's my favorite prospect right there, because we're going to walk through the door, we're going to give them all new creatives, we're going to give them all new designs, and we're not even going to charge them for it, because we know that down the road there'll be other things that we do that will help us grow our business as well as theirs.
Cool. Good work. How many send art cards do you send without saying? You send them, but you don't say like, "Hey, give me a call and let's talk about send out cards."
Yeah, I send a lot.
But they're just cards.
Just cards.
They're just cards.
I send cards to people
Right?
all the time.
Because people go, "That's cool."
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And I also, similar to him, I like to add value to people. I always try to network them to somebody that's going to benefit them or their business, or give them tips or tools that they can utilize regardless of whether or not they choose to use my business.
What's your go-to move?
I'm rocking right now.
You act as if, right?
Yeah.
You act as you've already
That's
had
why
the
you haven't
account
seen me
before
in a
you
year.
walk
I'm
in.
one of those guys that take what you post and I do it, and then I get so busy I'll see you next year. But no, what I'm doing right now is like the BNI concept. I mind all my clients and I say, hey, you love my service, you like what we do, who do you know that could use our service? Better yet, say, well, we'll take you to Taps. We'll all have a steak lunch, and we'll sit down and chat, and we'll introduce each other. That way I have a new client with a hot handshake. Not a warm handshake, not, hey, I know this guy. It's a hot handshake. We spend an hour or two. I'm buying lunch, all the drinks, everything's going, and I get deals, boom, 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 because I have a hot person in the lunch with me. I've been doing that. I just did one this afternoon with 6 Time Warner sales reps for the Santa Monica Valley area. I bought lunch. We had a great time, and they're already starting to send me deals too already before I even got back home.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when you're at the lunch, what are you doing? What are you talking about?
We're talking about how we can refer business to each other, how I can refer business to you, how you can refer business to me. I brought another telecom rep that does telecom auditing. He doesn't actually sell it. He doesn't have licenses with everybody. He just saves money. He makes money by saving money. So him and I refer back and forth to each other, and he can refer a ton of business to telecom reps. And they call me to do the DMARC extension and to cross over the IPs. And so, boom, I get a new client. Boom, I get a new client. Boom, I get. That's just my business going boom. I'm very happy.
And you take care of it. And you take care of it, right?
Yeah, and I buy, hey, ribeye. I love steak.
But I'm saying you take care of it, meaning when you're at the client, take care of business. It's just not getting in the door. It's.
No. You get my foot in the door, it's a done deal. You know me, it's a done deal. It's a sale.
Right.
That's awesome.
What about you, Rob?
I like that how he said once I get my foot in the door, he's in there and he's staying there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, believe me. You know what? I'll tell you, Joe hasn't told this story in a while, but Hoag Hospital down in Irvine, he just walked in and he said, "Yeah, I'm here to fix your whatever it was, your network."
Your network.
And they're like, "What network?" "Yeah, I think it's on floor." Yeah, they go, "Oh, that must be on
yeah.
floor 5 or whatever."
Yeah.
You're like, "Yeah, that's it." And he just started working.
Yeah.
He just started working.
You serious?
That's so good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I said to them, I call me, hey, who are you? I go, well, you called me to do this. And then they started just calling me.
You did not.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's scary.
I love it.
Yeah.
You need to post the 5-step.
I'm here to work.
That's the winner of the 5-step
I'm here to work.
right there.
Well, it's a winner if people apply it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm here to get this stuff done. The step for me is very similar. I think that we're going to always find this, right? And so, who was around during the gourmet giveaway? The Wild Things gourmet giveaway,
yeah.
Right? So I gave away 20. It literally we do 25 a day, and it was $25 or $30 worth of seafood and free shipping.
And it was delicious.
And so people could do that. Now we've learned some lessons in that part of it, And I talked to James Schramko a few weeks ago and helping me get that done. So we're going to light that candle up here in June and really get back on that. But performance in advance, right? To be able to say that, the best way for us to share our value is to have you experience it, right? And the best way to get you to experience it is to give it away for free. You know, and so that's what we're doing. So creating that thing where there's a wow factor and then stacking on the wow. Okay? So Thomas says, I'm going to try that. I got my code for the gourmet giveaway. Here's what I'm going to order. I get my $30 worth of whatever. Maybe you ordered $40, so you only paid $10 for $30, you know, for $40 worth of seafood, right? All of a sudden, you get a link. You get an email from my assistant saying, Thomas, Jeff Moore asked me to send this link to you. And you click on it and you, hey Thomas, Jeff Moore, Wild Things Seafood. Hey, I just want to thank you for giving us a try during our gourmet giveaway. I love what you ordered. And I would literally talk about their order. And it was a 2.5-minute video. And it was, it literally like, oh, this is how I cook that. And I'm like closing my eyes as I'm talking about, oh God, it sounds so good. I'm hungry right now, you know, and that type of thing. And then I'd say, you know, people ask me, you know, what's the catch? No pun intended, right? And there is no catch. You know, we just believe that the best way for us to share our quality and value is to have you experience it. And the best way for you to experience it is to give it away for free. And that's exactly what we've done during the gourmet giveaway. And what we're going to be doing is you're going to try this, and we're going to be giving you some more. We're going to offer you another opportunity to get some more. And so there was a 4-step process, and Dean Jackson calls it, would you like a cookie, right? And we did this, and it was really successful. And it started to scare some people because they're like, how do you scale doing the videos? And so there was a, you know, there's certain things you can do, editing and stuff like that. But the fact is during a period of time where you're really trying to make a name for yourself and you want to be referable, right? The star factor. Do people know what star factor means? Someone they'll always remember because they did something they'll always remember. Okay? So, you know, wherever we are, we've got freaking video cameras on our phones. We've got all this type of stuff, right? And so we send a video out during this thing. And it's during the campaign. But now all of a sudden somebody orders like a $250 order. Damn right I'm sending them a video. Holy crap. Nice order, Joe. You know, looks like you might be having a big barbecue. And I really love those culottes that you order, those bone-in ribeyes that you order. Yeah. Man, you know what I have found out, though? When you're getting those big, thick bone-in ribeyes, you don't want to use a real hot grill. You want to slow that thing down, slow cook it a little bit. You know, maybe it's an extra beer while you're drinking it, you know, and doing it. And so we're having this conversation, like we're having a conversation, you know, somewhere in a backyard or whatever. And they're just like, I feel part of them, right? I feel part of them. And so that's a big deal for us. We give a lot of stuff away. You know, when I'm working with, you know, any number of people, you know, in business, I'll send them some of my stuff. And they're just like, this is awesome. And you should see the videos I get from people that I'm like, I want to meet that guy. And all of a sudden we meet the guy, and now the guy's got some salmon or whatever. I ask, hey, my go-to thing, what's your favorite kind of fish? You know, oh, God, I don't know. You know, they start to tell me, and then, you know, somebody will go, you know, well, what's your favorite kind of fish? You know, the one that makes me the most amount of money. Right. You know, and so we're having this conversation, but it's what's your favorite kind of fish, and here you go. You know, wow, that's amazing. You know, but now all of a sudden, hey, I've got this special that's going on. Can you give me a shout out on your list or whatever? Absolutely. You know, no problem. Reciprocation. The other thing that is my go-to thing when you ever get into the hardest, like the you know, for us it's like the chef or the, you know, the owner of the restaurant or somebody that's the manager of the restaurant. It's like, so how long have you been doing this? And the guy says, oh, you know, I've been doing this for like 3 years. I've been here for 3 years. Oh, where were you before this? Literally now all of a sudden, right? Who are they talking about? Their favorite subject.
Themselves.
Right? And for me, I love it because I love hearing those stories. But guess what? As I'm hearing this person tell their story, what do I know? I can tell it better than they can. The more they tell me, the more I know that I can tell it better than they can. I told his boss stories better than he could last night. He's a great storyteller. It's just that's it. I can celebrate you. And so it's just, to me, that's a connection part. That's not the sales part. The sales part is, I've got my here I am. This is what I've done. I've saved, we ask these questions and this is what it does. I can orchestrate that conversation all the way through. And orchestrating referrals, by the way, you say, I'm going to do steak. That's cool. Let's all get together, have lunch, and do that. That's in the moment. That's all tied in at the same time. It's where people screw up that say, give me a referral, and I'm going to send you a gift card to something. Give me a referral, and this is what I'm going to do for that referral. People don't want to think that they're giving referrals because somebody was giving them something. People give referrals because it makes them feel good. So if you say, you give me this referral, this is how I'm going to treat them. Now all of a sudden you became referable, right, in your performance. And so when we're talking about, the sales process, we get them talking about themselves. They will guide you down the road. And the longer they tell you the story, the more you know that you're going to be able to tell it better than they can to themselves. It's just that way. It's always going to be that way. And so for me, where were you before here? That's a go-to thing for me. And by the way, it's just part of my human nature. I want to know, how long have you been doing this? Oh, 3 years. What were you doing before that? I'm curious. What was the path? What brought us to this moment? And so the more we can talk to them and have them talk about themselves, and the less that we can talk about our product. I've been in meetings with the head of Islands restaurants, talk about challenges that they're having. We go through a 50-minute lunch, and at the 50th minute he goes, so what do you got? I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, what do you got? I go, well, what do you think I have? He goes, well, you got seafood. He goes, well, so what do you got for me? I said, well, I'm literally, I wrote those questions on the back of the card. What are you using now? Well, I'm using this. We don't need any help in that. Okay, great. What makes that person, what makes that company so good for you? What do they do? God, I'd love to learn that. Well, they do it. You know what? 2 weeks later, hey, you know what? Why don't you give me a bid on that mahi mahi? I never did anything to trick them. It was just uncovering it and becoming part of them. And I'm going to tell you, building a relationship, when you tear down do you know how the best way to overcome the objections are? Reveal them yourself. Reveal them yourself. You know what? I know that people have a problem with this. And I know they have a problem with that. And it's like, I'm not going to sit there and immediately overcome it, because guess who's going to overcome it for me? You literally turn the table. Here's the objection. You know what? I know that you don't want to go with a new or a new comm system because of the expense, and I don't blame you. I'm sure your comm system works perfectly, and they're going to say, no, it doesn't.
I do exactly that.
Right? No, it doesn't. Oh, well, let's see if we can fix it. Right? The more you can take that down, right? Who was here when we did Dennis Toscanio? Not when he talked, but when we did the 22 words that improved his conversions for his law firm by 20%. Remember that? Yeah. Whether you sign with me today or not, our goal is to make sure you're fully aware of the process of workers' compensation, and that you're fully educated no matter who you go with. But that's my job today, is to make sure that you're fully aware of that. Whether you sign with me today or not, right? Everybody walked in, and what were they expecting? This guy's going to hard sell me out, right? Just like Esther said, no, I don't want to do it. Okay, that's not, okay, cool. Then let's talk about something else.
We do that with content for our website business. We put out content in pieces that they could theoretically do themselves, and it builds our, in their mind, it builds our credibility in their mind.
Well, and you're creating preeminence too.
Right.
Which is, yeah.
We're showing them how to do it themselves. They never do it themselves, and they hire us. But they know that we know how to do it.
What would you, of what we just talked about, tomorrow, you're in a scenario, even with a conversation with somebody, a child, a spouse, a colleague, what could you use tomorrow to further your engagement with that person? Was there a technique here that you can use?
Well, there's more questions. Just ask them more questions.
If you're a doctor, you're supposed to ask them questions.
That's all I do is ask questions.
Right? Prescription without diagnosis is malpractice.
It inspired me because I don't know if on the video he said interview, like a Dale Carnegie term, which I really like. But you mentioned the questions. Somebody's asked me a question that really stuck, and I've talked to I guess a lot of authors for whatever reason, but they asked me, what do I do, and then what's my 3 favorite parts of my job right now? So I talked about the first one, and I talked about the second one, and we're eating lunch, and some time goes by, and he says, you didn't tell me the third one. And that kind of really shifted of like, he didn't just ask a question to ask a question.
No.
But at that point, it was like, I had to think about it because my canned answers were kind of gone, and now it was kind of like a pattern interrupt, and now I had to actually think about it, and I've never forgot that. And so I think maybe trying that to deepen or just to better understand some other people that I work with or customers would be really cool. Just what's your 3 favorite things you're doing with your job right now?
Perfect. Yeah, I mean that's great, and it just begins. Whatever it becomes, making sure it's natural for you. But selling is educating, and selling is revealing. That's all it is. And so when we use this type of thing, I mean, I know when I'm being sold. I know when somebody's using great technique, and I'm literally on that roller coaster, just yeah, here it comes, the trial close. Whoa, I'm all the way in. He's got me saying 5 yeses, and just doing the whole thing, and I'm fine with it. If I think that product's got a value, I am the greatest consumer on the planet.
I like to learn from other salespeople. That's why I let them pitch me, always, especially on the phone.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's some great techniques. There was one. I very rarely answer my home phone anymore, just because it's never like somebody needs me. It's my cell phone they call, right? So I get a call, and it's from some kind of charity that's looking for something, and they said, Mr. Moore, you know what? We called you about 5 months ago, and you were just so polite and gracious, and we really want you to know how much we appreciate your, how supportive you've been, and how really polite you were.
You never heard from me.
And I knew, but it was just such an awesome diffusing deal, because it's like, now I can't be a jerk, and it's like, okay, yeah. You're thanking me for being a nice guy, and I haven't had a chance to turn it on. The other one is a good one. Is I just saw something. I just saw this article, or I just saw this, and I thought of you.
That's what I use Stumble Upon for.
I'm thinking of you, and it's just it's that type of thing, and where you show that you're thinking of them, whether they're in the room or not, whether they're making a buying decision or not, And we went through, we did a deal back several years ago, or a couple of years ago, about dating advice and sales, right? And we got in trouble because I think that the subject line was talking about dating and how to get the best date or whatever, and somebody's wife saw it, and they were just like, what the hell are you doing on a dating site or whatever? But if you really truly want to learn
the psychology, the true psychology of engagement in sales, study dating advice.
Best sales job ever.
It's just that's it. Study dating advice, and it's you know, whether it's Neil Strauss's stuff, the game, you know, and that type of stuff about what these guys do, you know, and understand what propinquity means. Do you know what propinquity means? You know what propinquity means? You're going to have to look it up. So propinquity with a Q-U-I-T-Y, and it's it literally is basically proximity and likeness. So the chances of you dating and marrying somebody that works in the same building or lives in the same area is higher than not, right? Than if you're not, and so that's propinquity, and you know, I've learned a lot where I will get some, you know, guy that's like, I've been with, you know, X number of women in the last year and whatever, and it's like, cool. I just turn women to customer in the conversation and listen to what he's doing. And it's all about caring and listening and, you know, and being that person, something they'll always do, something they'll always remember. So it's a solid one. So anybody having a particular challenge right now, because we're going to wind this down, but a particular challenge or a particular awesome story to sell, to tell. I mean, something happened recently to you that is a milestone for you, you know.
Okay, Jeff, please let me talk.
Yes. Go.
I'm just kidding, man. Yeah, I have two things. One is a good milestone, is that Jay's daughter came in as interim CEO, and that was really cool to just kind of give me some breathing room to kind of get back focused on the marketing. But one of the challenges that I realized from reading The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday is how he talks about when you've come to an obstacle where, like in my case, we have some partners that got slowed down with a lot of like technical issues, and that slowed down our marketing. And it was driving me crazy, it was driving Jay crazy, and we didn't know what to do, how to speed it up, and we had to keep throwing money at it to fix all the problems. And that obstacle, just from reading last night and working with Michelle, I realized was the way into just taking back the reins of doing some internal marketing. And it doesn't have to be big or serious or anything, but I went to sleep like so excited, going, man, we're going to take back over the marketing, we're going to do some stuff and keep ourselves afloat and excelling, you know, while we're waiting for these things to get fixed. And then I woke up with like a dreadful fear, and like I just wanted to stay under the blankets. So I was like, oh God, what are we going to do? There's so many things to do. I got to figure out where to start. And I made some calls today. I called Esther. We had a good talk. I called a few other people. Who did I talk to? Our new Infusionsoft team. They had some really great ideas for us. And so far what I've come up with is that podcasting is going to be a great way for us to market the hard drive. For the people that don't know what the hard drive is, it's basically like a Pandora's box of all of Jay's teachings from the past and some more recent stuff too. And it comes on these two hard drives that are just, well, actually the new one comes on one big giant terabyte hard drive that's about 900 gigs, and it's got audio, video, documents, PDFs, all kinds of stuff. And it's a tricky product because we have risk reversal, so people can return it, but they can easily download all of it and keep it and then just return it. And so we're trying to figure out, you know, different pricing, different risk reversal, all these different factors. And we got landing pages that are built, and they got to be modified if we want to do the hard drive 2 and the brain trust and all kinds of confusing stuff. And I was like, you know what, screw all that. We're going to focus on hard drive 1, and we're just going to go nuts with that one, and it's going to fund all the other things that we got to do. And it's going to kind of get us over the gap. But one of my challenges is, I guess, kind of just feeling confident in knowing that I can pull it off with the pieces I have in play, because I really think that a lot of people will get a ton of value from having listened to Jay's episodes on different top podcasts, but then actually getting that to turn into actual sales is a little, I guess, nerve-wracking. So that's my challenge right now, is just kind of getting it to convert, you know, and getting it to actually get into the hands of people and getting them to use it.
Did Jay tell you about his conversation with me today?
No, I haven't talked to him at all today.
He laid the gauntlet down today.
What does that mean?
He challenged me because I challenged him last night on some stuff, and there could be a partnership. Remember we talked about deep dive with Jay Abraham?
Yeah.
That's about as close as we're closer now than we've ever been to that.
Cool.
With live events, like a quarterly live event, and I think podcasting is going to be part of it as well. Not that I'm going to do a podcast with Jay, but I'm just saying there's a getting into the deep dive with Jay, and just have him up on stage and doing what he does best. Not being up there doing a seminar speech or anything, but literally doing a deep dive, Q&A where he's most comfortable and untying the Gordian knot, as he says.
Yeah, our Infusionsoft experts today gave me a good piece of advice saying, pay-per-click and banner ads and all these other things go really against the grain of what Jay wants to do as far as not really being like everyone else and an info marketer and all those things, and really being, above all that and being from a place of, look, I'm not trying to sell info. I'm trying to give you a great deal on a bunch of info that's going to really help you. That's really qualitative, real-world stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, podcasting is going to be the most authentic way to do that because he's going to have real dialogue with real people that have a genuine interest in what he teaches. They're going to go through some of it, and he was like, you're going to have content that's epiphany generators, which I thought was kind of cool. And so I started looking at everything differently. I was like, okay, where can I get these snippets of content that'll be epiphany generators, and how can I get it from the podcast, and how can I create all the funnels out of that? And it's pretty cool, but it's a little bit it's a little bit scary, I guess, because I've never taken the bull by the horns like this and said I'm going to actually do some of the marketing myself now. So
Jay in his history, in his past, right, has done over $250 million in seminar sales. So it's a different game, and he's just so ripped off, but it's going to be really powerful. And I really look forward to kind of working on something with him on this. And I've never gone to him and asked him to do this. It was weird. It was a phone call. I could have sworn you were like right there when he was talking to me.
So going back to the thing you mentioned about the predictability, I guess my challenge or my question to the boardroom is, how do I increase the predictability of success with marketing this hard drive via podcasts or other things?
I would say that you got to first define what does success look like. Is it selling 10 of those things a month? Is it
No, it's more like 50.
Okay, but then and we can get deeper into this at another time. But what is the experience that somebody has when they get this hard drive? Do they all have gigabytes of stuff that they've now got to sift through on their own? Or is there...
Well, we actually just organized hard drive 2, and hard drive 1 is going to be organized by next Tuesday. So they're going to actually be, all the subfolders have been uprooted. So now you see everything, right there. Instead of seeing like Masters of Passive Income, and then you go in, there's like a million subfolders. It's like we pulled everything out. Now it's like Masters of Passive Income audios, Masters of Passive Income PowerPoints, Masters of Passive Income workbook. And that way you know exactly what you're getting on the very front of everything, and you can decide where you want to start, and you can look at all the videos you want, look at all the transcripts or whatever.
I think there's another step to that, Rob.
What's that?
I think there's another step to that.
Like a learning plan.
It's like, exactly. There's almost like needs to be like a syllabus to the thing where it's not about what is in here, it's about what is this one going to do for you.
That was just the first piece of it. So we did that first because we're building a forum, and in that forum, it's going to be like an active, living syllabus.
Okay.
So we put that up on vBulletin thanks to Aaron Fletcher, who I met in the boardroom, who connected me with James Schramko, and James Schramko's guy who creates forums built ours. And vBulletin's really new to me, so I didn't know what I was going to do. And what I ended up doing was taking all the instructions and directives that this guy Dave Wooding sent to me and said, here's how you add people, here's how you create new threads, here's how you do all this stuff. And I farmed it out to our new VA, who's going to basically get everyone in there, get it all started, and do all of that for me. And then I'm just going to basically give that VA the stuff that they need to do, and they're going to do all of it.
I'm looking forward to that because we're going to be doing a lot of that with the high school, with the college prep roadmap.
Yeah, it's going to be good, and we can definitely talk about best practices and stuff. But still, my question is more about the marketing, because I know that we now have the pieces in place to have a good user experience for everyone. It's more about how do I take a hold of all this internal marketing and not relying on anybody at all. Whether they fail or do great, we're still doing great with internal marketing, because we usually don't do internal marketing. We always rely on partners, because that's a big thing Jay's all about. So I'm just trying to think what kind of partners, how to do it, and yeah, really just increasing the predictability.
I think we could have a great hot seat on that at our next session. What do you think?
That'd be pretty cool, yeah. When is the next one?
I don't know. I think it's the week. It'll be the 6th. The 6th.
That's a Friday, so it'll be 5th.
Oh, the 5th. It'll be the 5th.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that might be good timing, or it might be too late. I don't know. We're pretty much on a, two week super press right now. We're gonna we're gonna do some massive action in the next few days here. So.
Well, let's chat, okay?
Yeah, cool.
Anybody else before we sign off here? What do you guys think? What did you guys get out of tonight?
A lot of notes.
If there was one takeaway as you're driving away, you go, boy, you know what? That's something I want to do more. What would that be? I mean, it might be nothing. It just
Jeff, who was the sales question for?
What?
Was the sales question for somebody specific?
Which one?
Just about, asking about sales tactics, because I have so many language patterns, but I didn't know who to tailor it towards. I didn't know if you were asking the question for the couple that's over here that has the company with the cards.
Oh.
Was that the?
No.
Or was it just a general
we're
question?
Talking about sales, just period.
Oh, okay. I had some cool stuff for that, but I mean, I can maybe save it for next time.
Yeah, I think it's 9:08, and I had too much wine last night. If you hadn't noticed. But yeah, Rob, for sure. Let's. I'd like to have you out here if you could if I don't. I mean, you and I could talk about this stuff too, but it just I'd love to have you out here, and the dynamics of what you're doing, I think is pretty exciting.
Well, I want to give one little cool sales tactic before I go.
Got it.
The other day I was,
what do you use? What do you use when you're getting onto Tinder?
No, not that one.
Tell us your move. This is real data.
No. This is a good one, though. Trust me. So when I have to sell these $10,000 a month consultations for 1 or 2 phone calls only, or $50,000 a day kind of consultation, you get the resistance from people saying, "Well, what kind of guarantee do I get? Can I get a guarantee that I'm going to get my 50 grand back, or my 60 grand over 6 months, or whatever?" And I've always kind of just treated it as, I don't know what to tell you, but if you have faith in Jay, then let's do it. And Jay gave me a cool response the other day saying, "Well, how can I guarantee that you're going to execute? How can I guarantee that you're going to receive what I do, or stay organized, or really be open-minded instead of rigid? How can I guarantee any of those things?" And look at my track record and see all the thousands of successes I've had, and meaning, look at all the successes Jay's had, and if you don't think that you can bet on him, then why should he bet on you? And that was a good takeaway, and I'm pretty sure this guy's going to be our client that I told that to 2 days ago.
Awesome.
So,
awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Great one. That is a great turning the table for sure. Cool, man.
That's it.
Anybody? So, what was the one takeaway? If you've got one takeaway, I'm not letting you leave without.
There's a couple. I mean, I guess defining your goal.
What does success look like?
Success look like, and would you like a cookie?
Do you know I'll tell you what would you like a cookie is. Do you know what it means?
I believe so.
Okay, what does it mean?
What's that? Well, I guess entice them to try out.
It's kind of like that. So here it is, right? You came to my house, right? And I said, hey, come on in. Look, I've got a the refrigerator full of food and everything, but I got to go upstairs for a little bit. So make yourself at home, grab whatever, make a sandwich, do whatever you want to do. Chances are you're not going to go over to my refrigerator and start pulling out cold cuts and make a sandwich for you, right? Not him. I'm talking to him over here. But if I walked up to you and said, you know what, I just baked these chocolate chip cookies, or whatever this cookie is. They're just out of the oven. I had a plate of cookies. Would you like a cookie? And I went and I gave you a choice of just yes or no with this. Would you like a cookie? So you can experience it. It's not just choose from everything you've got here. You know, do whatever you want. It's literally guiding you to making a yes or no decision and making it in a way that you're able to experience that. So would you like a cookie is literally, would you like $30 worth of free seafood? You know, would you like this? There's really, you're really, even if that type of cookie is not your favorite cookie, chances are you're going to say yes, right? Because you're giving it to them. And so that's really what would you like a cookie is.
So is that the same thing as people don't try things, they do things?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, there is no try. It's only do. But yeah, but so that's what would you like a cookie is, and it's you know, hey, you know what I want you to do? Go ahead and take that home.
And take this home. Go ahead and try it. Use it with your patients.
Take it home.
And maybe you can make some money.
Yeah, just use it with your patients. Do whatever. Just go ahead and use it. Right? It's the puppy dog clothes, right? Put the puppy dog in their hands and do that. By the way, I still have promised to do it, and I'll find it. I have the old, not Nightingale Conant, but the Franklin Covey deal. That they had an old program called the Emperor's New Clothes, CLOSE, and it is literally the top 20 closes and how to use them. And so I'll find it and I'll make a scan of it and share it with everybody, because in my office, I mean, I've got hundreds of pounds just sitting around that's not used. But that was one of those things that I've always kept, that those closing techniques and just using those things and applying them once a day, you know. But that's, you know, whatever it is, what is the most inspiring is when somebody uses something that they learn here and then share what they did with it and the results they did. You know, like the
Post
crazy
those
man.
things. I'll give you some results next week.
Like the crazy man. He literally was sitting over here. We're a quarter of a way through a session. We're doing something, talking, we're watching a video or whatever, and we're talking about the perspectives, and he goes, I got it. Goes out the door. We don't see him for 6 months. He comes back in, he's like, I've done like 5X, and he tells the story of what he's done. And it was just amazing. Then you went to the managed services thing, and it just hit, and it was
Exploded.
like, I don't need any more input. Let me go do some outputs. And that's a big deal. By the way, something else that I'm doing right now is called the Simple Writing System. I don't know if anybody's heard of it, but it's John Carlton's program, who's one of the greatest copywriters ever. And he's got these teachers that are teaching the class, right? He kind of oversees it. Well, the teacher that's teaching me is a guy named David Garfinkel. I'm in his class. He is actually, from my because of the boardroom, because of what I do, he's put me in a special class that's got these 7-figure direct response copywriters in it. And so I'm part of that. So some of the stuff that I'll be learning in there, I'll be sharing here. Right? Learn to teach to know and share with passion. So, is anybody else? I think we're done. Tony, you good?
I'm good. I'm just here milking a cow.
All right, guys. Hey, Kamari, thanks for staying up so late.
Oh, thank you.
Good to see you. Joe, thanks for being here. Rob, go after
Happy
yourself.
night.
And we'll talk. Tony, I'll talk to you later.
Yep. See you later.
Good night.
All right.
See you guys.
Jeff, I have a seafood question.
Yes.
Can you ship seafood to the East Coast, just like a small order?
Yes.
Okay, I'll talk to you later. I want to send something to my family.
Okay. And if you use the promo code JJ Virgin, you get 10% off your order and a free cookbook and DVD.
Well, my uncle will not do that, but yeah, okay.
All right. Yeah, we'll take care of you.
Okay,
All right. See you later.
bye.
Let's say stop broadcast. Right?